Welcome to Winning Mindset. We want to give you the mental edge. We help teams and individuals all across the country and around the world get the mental edge, maximize their potential in sports, in school, and in life with our sports-specific systematic mindset program. We're going to give a little description, an overview of the program, brief overview of our entire mindset program and how it could help your team or your child become a champion. So we begin with our why. Always begin with your why and your purpose. Our purpose is to give you the mental edge. We want to use sports as a vehicle to help you succeed in sports, in school, and in life. It's going to open up doors for you academically, get you into a better college, get you into a better career, make connections, and sports is a great opportunity to give you life lessons and grow in virtue. So that's the big picture with Winning Mindset. It's not just about success in sports. That's a part of it, but it's using sports as a vehicle to improve you in your entire life. So these lessons go well beyond sports. I get excited because these are the exact lessons that I wish I had as a kid. I would have been more successful and I would have been happier as a student athlete. Also, I could have applied these lessons. I could have been better as a student. I could have been better in other areas of my life if I would have gotten these mindset lessons. So very important. We need to know our why. We want to give you the mental edge, and we want to use sports as a vehicle to maximize your potential in sports, in school, and life. So how do we do that? We've created a systematic sports-specific mindset program. Okay, so everyone's probably heard of sports psychology, right? The general field of helping people with performance success. We wanted to take that and we wanted to make it highly sports-specific, very practical, very down-to-earth, very easy to understand. And so we've created Winning Mindset, and that's the parent company. Now from there, we have wrestling mindset, baseball mindset, tennis mindset, golf mindset. We broke it down into different sports. So we've had high-level athletes of each sport create sport-specific language in that systematic program. So now that's the kind of language, whatever sport that you play, or that your team plays, or that your kid plays, it's going to be that specific language for you. So you don't have to relate the messages from general sports psychology to your sport. It's already done. We've done your homework for you. It's right there. It's sports specific. It's very concrete, very down-to-earth language. So we give you the mental edge through mental training. Almost every athlete will say sports are 90% mental, but they train 90% physical. And you see there's a problem there. There's an imbalance. We call that the training paradox. If you're saying sports are 90% mental, yet you're training 90% physical, we have a problem. You're not training very smart now, are you? So we want to bridge that gap between the physical and mental training. And we do that with our sports-specific mindset program. Okay, so in that, we tend to see the same kind of mindset struggles because we see athletes are training 90% physical when it's 90% mental. We tend to see the same kind of mindset struggles, okay? Giving good opponents too much respect, not competing with the killer instinct, not pulling the trigger out there, being better in practice than in a competition, being a slow starter, having poor body language. Sometimes you could just look at the athlete and know that they're not ready. Getting too caught up in rankings, records, seedings, and predictions, comparing themselves too much to other people, and having difficulty bouncing back from mistakes. Those are common mistakes we see, common mindset red flags, we call them, that we see across all sports. Okay, and that's largely because we're not focusing as much time on our mindset as we should be. So, 3 big reasons why people do mindset training. One is overcoming one of those mindset red flags that we just said right there. An athlete or a team might be struggling with one specific issue, and we help them get over the hump. That's one reason why people do mindset training, to get over a certain hump or a barrier, a mental block that they're having. Second reason why people do mindset training is just for the mentorship. The life lessons, becoming a better leader, becoming a better person. You really can't put a price tag on great mentorship. So I had my first mentor when I was 13 years old, and from that really helped me tremendously in terms of I wanted to be like my mentor, not like my friends. And around those teenage years where friends start going out late, partying, drinking, taking drugs, doing terrible things they shouldn't be doing, I wasn't looking at my friends as my reference group. I was looking at my mentor. My mentor was keeping me on track, making sure I was focusing on sports and school, and having regular meetings with that mentor really helped me as kind of like an older brother figure. And sometimes it's good. My parents were very good, very supportive of me, but sometimes it's different hearing it from a mentor. He's kind of like an older brother figure. And me, especially being the oldest brother, that was very helpful for me. I had someone who I was looking to now who is a good leader, older than me, a successful athlete. So I wanted to be like him and not like my friends as much. So the life lessons, the mentorship, building better leaders, overall teaching grit and resiliency, digging down deep, times I felt like quitting or getting down on myself, my mentor is right there to pick me up. And that's not just for sports, but also for school and for life. So having that mentorship, we learned about leadership, grit, resiliency, all that. And the third big reason why people do mindset training is because they're already a high-level team, or they're already a high-performing athlete, and they just want to get the mental edge. They want to make sure they leave no stone unturned. They want to do everything in their power to maximize their potential. They're already at the top, but they want to widen that gap between them and their opponents. If they're beating their opponents right now by 5, they want to be beating them by 10. So they're maximizing their potential, they're looking to keep their edge, and they're looking to get even better than they are. So those are the 3 rough groups that you'd be falling into, is why someone would be using mindset training. And what do you notice? That all athletes and all teams tend to fall into one of those 3 groups. You're either struggling, trying to get over the hump with something mentally, or you need that mentorship, building a culture, building those leadership skills, or 3, you're already at that high level and you want to keep that edge. And also knowing that the highest level athletes, they're the ones who deal with the most pressure because media is concentrating on them. The pressure's on them. The team's expecting you to produce. Your parents are expecting you to produce and to carry the team a lot of times. So there's a lot of weight on our back. Recruiters, colleges, professional teams, they're looking at the best athletes, not the worst. On social media, you're hearing all about the star athletes, not the mediocre athletes. So that the high-level athletes know that they're going to be dealing with the most mentally. So that's why a lot of times that 3rd group is the group that we're working with. So we work with all those groups. No matter where you fall in that spectrum, each one of those people, there's a place for mindset training. So I want you to look at mindset training as strength training for your mind. Think about it as strength training for your mind. So almost every serious team and individual has a strength coach. Almost all of them, okay? It's common. Why? Because we know it's an important area of the sport and we can't leave it to chance. It's worth investing in, strength training. Very similar to the mindset. How many months out of the year are serious athletes doing strength training? 12 months. So what do you think we should be doing for mindset? If you're saying sports are about 90% mental, we should be mindset training 12 months out of the year. Also think about with strength training, you can't just think about mindset training. It can't just be in your head. You have to actually do the mindset training. Very similar to strength training. You can't just think about strength training. You have to actually get in the weight room. You have to actually move the weights or get on the ground and do push-ups, get on the bar and do pull-ups. You can't just think about strength training. You have to do the strength training. Same thing with your mindset. You can't just listen to us. It's not just lip service. It's not motivational speaking or counseling or therapy. It's mindset training. So you have to do the mindset exercises, worksheets, and activities that we give you. The mindset training is going to be what strengthens your mind, not just listening to us. Listening to us is great, but you have to put the pen to paper. You have to put in the work. You have to do the mindset training. You need to get mental reps. Just like you get reps in the gym for strength, you need to get reps for your mind. So look at it like that with mindset training. You have to do the mindset training. You can't just think about mindset training. And also there's different muscles in your body. So for strength training, you could have people that have very strong legs but weak arms. You could have someone who has a very strong neck but a weak grip. Those are different muscles in your body that need to be strength trained. Well, it's the same thing with your mind. There's different mental muscles, and you have to train all of those mental muscles. And after working with tens and thousands of athletes and teams across the country and around the world, we've been able to see that all athletes, all of them, are strong in some areas and they're relatively weak in other areas. And we're only as strong as our weakest link. So everyone can benefit from mindset training, no doubt about it, because sometimes we're strong in one mental muscle, but we're a little bit weaker in another mental muscle. So we break it down into 8 different mental muscles: goal setting, mental toughness, motivation, staying in the present moment, relaxing under pressure, confidence, clarity, and aggressiveness. We also have other series for mental muscles on bouncing back from injuries, so injury recovery mentally, and sleep. being able to sleep and relax the night before a competition. But the 8 basic mental muscles are right there, and then we have the 2 other extras, right? So we're all strong in some of those areas. We're all a little bit weak, or at least relatively weak in those areas. So we want to be strong in all of those areas. We want to take the areas that we're really strong and make ourselves even stronger, and take the areas where we're relatively weak and get better in those areas. We want to improve, right? The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. So making sure we're working on our mind right there. So you're looking at this as strength training for your mind. The serious athletes are strength training their body. Serious athletes should also be strength training their mind. It's too important to leave to chance. You got to take the bull by the horns and work on your mindset. And again, it's done systematically. There's a systematic way to become more confident. There's a systematic way to relax under pressure. It's not just all thrown together. It's there. The worksheets are there, the exercises, the activities are there for you, and very specific to your sport. Very important to remember. It's sport specific. It's made for athletes of your sport, and it's made by athletes of your sport. Now, there's a team program and there's an individual program. So now we're getting into the what. We explained our why, we explained our how. Now we're going to break it down exactly to the what. Our systematic mindset programs. There's a team program and there's an individual program. First, we're going to talk about the team program. So let's say you're a coach watching this video right now. You want to know exactly what is winning mindset, team mindset training. Okay? So what we do with the teams, we bring the teams into a room, whether it's a classroom, an auditorium, a cafeteria, and we have Skype workshops, live Skype workshops with your team. So your team is going to get assigned a mindset coach, and that mindset coach is now going to work with your team on a regular basis. And they're going to take you through the mindset exercises and worksheets. So the more workshops that you do with us, the greater breadth and depth that your team is going to cover. Okay, so you're going to have this mindset coach with your team throughout the season, actually holding you by the hand, your team by the hand, as they deal with adversity. If there's any drama on the team, drama between athletes and coaches, they have a bad competition, anything that's going on, the mindset coach is right there. But we schedule these workshops, and they're about 45 minutes, and it's going to depend on each team, right? Some teams go longer. We've had some teams go an hour and a half. We have other coaches that say they need a hard stop at 30 minutes because they only have so much time to allot for this. So a 30-minute stop for some of them. They're on average 45 minutes to an hour, the mindset workshops with the team. They're done live. There's one mindset coach that you have throughout the year. And we also open up the possibility that anyone on your team that's looking to do individual mindset training, like any kind of questions, anything they're struggling with, we're right there. We provide that as a service for no additional charge. It's right there for your team, where they're able to contact the mindset coach throughout the year at any point in time. Okay, if they want to do the individual program and actually go through the different lessons by themselves with the mindset coach, then we'll talk about the individual program. But if anyone on your team is struggling and they have questions and anything that's going on immediately, they can contact that mindset coach. That mindset coach is there for your team. They're going to be working closely with your team and taking you through the different different worksheets and exercises. So depending on how many workshops you're doing, that's going to determine what lessons you're getting and also how much you're getting into it. Okay, so we break down the year into 2 different phases for our team program. There's phase 1 and there's phase 2. So phase 1 is the off season, right? As if there is an off season. But when you're not in season, we'll call that the off season, right? Or not the preseason, because the preseason, I consider that with the season. But after the season ends, we consider that phase 1. That's foundation level mindset. So there you're going to be working very specifically on goal setting, mental toughness, motivation, self-knowledge, understanding yourself, action planning. So it's getting the foundation level mindset there. And then in season, preseason, and during the season, in the postseason, so all of that goes into phase 2. And that focus is more geared towards peak performance, relaxing under pressure, confidence, clarity, aggressiveness. So you see at different times of the year, there's going to be a different focus. There's always going to be some overlap, right? You're going to be getting you're going to get some peak performance in phase 1, and you're going to get some foundation mindset in phase 2. But the majority of the focus is going to be different. Phase 1 is geared towards building a foundation mindset, which is so important. If you don't have that, We can't even talk about the peak performance really, because you're always going to be coming up way short because you're not living the right lifestyle. And phase 2 is peak performance mindset. So how do you deal with pressure? How do you build confidence? What exactly do you focus on in the heat of battle? So phase 1 and phase 2. Now, our 3 most popular programs that we do, within each phase, we do 12 workshops, 8 or 4. The cluster of 4 workshops seems to be the most popular because it's a lot of information you'll be able to get then, right? So we tend to have clusters of 4. So within each phase, like we have a team that's doing phase 1 mindset training. They're usually doing, the most serious are going to be doing 12 workshops in phase 1. And then there's also the 8 that we have available, or 4. Now, you could do the full mindset program, the full program, which is phase 1 and phase 2, and that would be 24 workshops that you'd be able to do. So now you're getting all of phase 1 and all of phase 2. So that's the full year program. And of course, we also have contracts that are available, and there's of course discounts for teams that are doing the full program, right? On our end, we want to incentivize the teams that are looking at this long term. We're looking at building long-term relationships with the teams and the individuals that we work with. So we're always trying to provide incentives and discounts for teams that are looking to do more workshops and teams that are looking to do the full program. So again, the clusters within each phase is 12 workshops, 8 or 4. And we'd always be able to meet in the middle somewhere. It's really whatever works best for you guys. We're looking at the long-term relationship. What works best for you is what works best for us. We just had a team today sign up for 42 mindset workshops. So throughout the year, they're going to do 42. They're even doing more than the full program, right? And then, of course, there's some teams, they can't do much. Maybe they could only do 1, 2, or 3 workshops. We'd be able to meet you wherever you're at. But the most popular programs cluster in 4. So that's how the team program would work. And then also with the teams, we've seen a lot of teams split this with their booster club or with their recreation team. So when we work with the teams, our recommendation is you bring everyone together into a classroom or an auditorium or a cafeteria. You get us up on the big screen. We send you the mindset worksheets that you're going to need for that day. You print those out, and now the team has them forever. And we take them through those mindset worksheets. So we invite all of the coaches, all the athletes, and all the parents. We want the parents there too. We're trying to create a well-oiled machine, everyone speaking the same language. So you have coaches, athletes, and parents there. Now there's a lot of teams, we invite you to bring in your recreation team or your youth team. If you have a feeder program that leads to your team, bring them in, right? If I'm speaking to a high school coach, I say bring in your middle school team, bring your recreational team in. And that includes, again, also coaches, athletes, and parents. So now you have the whole town or that whole area speaking the same language when it comes to mindset and approaching sports the same way. So now also that's the benefit, because now you could split that between 2 different booster clubs. Next, we have another way that teams wind up doing this program is they bring in a local club. Some sports teams have a local club for their sport that will come in with them. Or another team at their school, they might have coaches have friends that are other coaches. They coach another sport at a different school, or they themselves coach another sport. So they bring in multiple sports, or they talk to their athletic director, their booster club, and they all come in on it. And again, the fact that we have all sport-specific curriculum, we could have 3 different sports, 5 different sports in the room at the same time, and the lessons are the same, but the language is specific to each sport. So each sport gets their own specific language. Okay? So that's how the teams do the mindset program. Now, with the individual mindset program, if you have a kid that plays a sport, we have 2 basic. So first of all, the individual program is all done over the phone. The team program is done on Skype. The individual program is done over the phone. So your individual, the athlete gets a one-on-one mindset coach. That's going to be their coach. That's their mentor. Okay, they stick with that mindset coach, and that mindset coach will then be there for your athlete throughout the year. So the goal is for it to be a year-long program. We have some athletes that have been on our mindset program individually for 4 or 5 years now. Okay, but the full program, to complete the full program, all 8 mindset muscles, is going to take a little bit over a year. It was a year, but now we added more worksheets, more exercises to it. As time goes on, we learn even more about mindsets. We keep making the program better and better. It's about 70 weeks, the full mindset program. So You would sign up, you would sign your kid up for either the weekly program or the twice a month program. There is a once a month program, but very few people wind up doing that because there's so much more value in the weekly or twice a month. My recommendation is the most serious athletes and the older athletes do weekly workshops, if you could do it. And there's the twice a month program. Now within those, so that means each week, so for the people that are doing the weekly program, they would have a one-on-one mindset meeting, mindset session with their mindset coach, and they would go through. We would send you all the worksheets ahead of time. You'd have access to all of those as soon as you sign up for the program. You print those out, you put them in a 3-ring binder, and now you have them forever. You have those worksheets, those exercises forever, and you could always refer back to them because the worksheets are supposed to be a work in progress. It's something that you're doing on an ongoing basis. You're adding this, you're taking this out, you're changing this. So it's supposed to be just like your technique and your skills in sports. You're never completely satisfied. You're always working on improving. So you have those worksheets and exercises, and you go through one worksheet with your mindset coach each time. Again, it's very practical. It's very down to earth. You don't do homework outside of this or anything like that. The idea is you're going through your mental training with your mindset coach, like a strength coach, a personal strength coach, or a personal trainer for your mind. And obviously our individual program is great because you can't beat one-on-one mindset coaching. So you have that. And again, we have our weekly program and we have our twice a month program. And obviously if you do a 6 or 12 month contract or a 6 or 12 month paid in full, you wind up getting a discount on the program. Again, we're trying to incentivize the people that are looking to build long-term relationships and the people who are in it for the long run. With Winning Mindset, our staff, our mindset coaches are in it for the long run. So we want to work with people who are in it for the long run. You have the same vision as us. We're incentivizing you to the best that we possibly can. So there's the team program and there's the individual program. Whichever road you want it to go down. We have a lot of teams that not only do we work with their team, but we work with a lot of individuals on the individual program within that team. And that brings a lot of success. So the more mindset training you're doing, the better. Again, as we said before, we're trying to give you the mental edge. We want you to use your sport as a vehicle to improve you in your entire life. Build virtue, get into a better college, get a better career, make connections, be a happier, more well-rounded person. We do that through the mental training that we have, our systematic, sport-specific mindset programs. And wherever you fall on that spectrum, whether you're a high-level team just looking for the edge, whether you're struggling with something mentally that you're looking to get over the hump to fix that issue, or if you're just looking for the overall life lessons, the mentorship, the leadership, the life lessons, there's something for everyone. It's not just about fixing a problem or something's wrong, right? It's about using sports as a vehicle for your entire life. So it doesn't matter what stage you are in your athletics. If you're saying sports are 90% mental and you're training 90% physical, you got to take the bull by the horns. You got to make the change. If you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. So whether it's sports, school, or life, mindset makes the difference.